I hope that buzzing is not there. We're live. We're live. I hope we're live.
Yeah.
Oh, I gotta tell. They're not gonna know. They're not gonna know. They're not gonna know.
They're not gonna
Join
know
this
nowhere.
one because it's the old one. I had to
Oh,
set a whole new thing and everything.
yeah. I put it in the chat. Join.
Yeah. So my problem, my fault, guys. I'm still learning, and we'll get this taken care of, man. I'm still learning. You guys got to get off my back a little bit.
Oh, sorry, I gotta cut the volume down. Yeah.
Tell me, go on our stream real quick and tell me if you hear that buzzing sound.
Oh, let me press mute.
Testing. Do you guys hear the buzzing sound? Because I still think
I don't hear a buzzing sound on it. No,
Okay,
I don't hear a buzzing sound.
Okay, I don't know what. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. I'm gonna replace the whole infrastructure besides the Cheryl mic. I think that should fix it.
Yeah, but I don't hear any buzzing though. Just to let you know.
Okay, what's going on, you guys? Lord Addict here, Gaming Ed here, coming at you with another Addict show where we talk about the past, present, and future game. I got my co-host with me, Dirt Gregory. What's going on, Dirt?
What up? What up? Oh, it's kind of close.
Oh, yeah. First off, I want to apologize to Dirt's community that I missed the what do they call it? The light and dark podcast.
the mashed potatoes and gravy podcast. We didn't do the mashed potatoes.
The reason that was is because I forgot that I was going to PAX West.
Oh yeah, it's all good, bro.
Yeah, so
I do that podcast by myself anyway, so it was all good.
We was driving at the time, and at the time I didn't realize that. I thought we'd get back sooner, but I want to apologize to the community.
No, it's all good, man.
Do you have? So I'm going to put a question in the chat, and it's going to be pretty much questions that you guys have for Starfield in general. I know the vast majority you have access to it now, but I played a vast portion of that game, like a ridiculous amount. So there's a little thing you guys want to talk about in particular, then we'll definitely go into that. All right, so we got a big show for you guys today. We got a nice show for you, man. I wanted to look, it helps that we didn't have a show last week, so we could talk about extra sauciness. We're going to talk about a little bit of Forza. As you could see, people like Paris and there has been people that have went to these preview events. I will say, because we're allowed to. The Lords have been to it. They got some hands on. Now, obviously, can't talk about it right now. I think the embargo is like the 11th or something. I can't remember.
So Addy, you mean another Xbox exclusive is on the way? Is that what you're telling me?
Yeah, it's another Xbox exclusive coming down. They hit you with that 1, 2, 3. That 1, 2, 3. So we got that to talk about. We got some Indiana Jones. Did you see where Todd Howard kind of hinted that Indiana Jones would be at whatever their June showcase next year?
I did see that, man. We got to talk about that, brother.
Yeah. Then we have PlayStation Plus increasing. We have a crazy show. Then we got Starfield in general. We're going to really break down Starfield, answer questions that you guys have. It might just be particularly a game, questions that you have about the game for me or Dirt. How much have you played, Dirt?
Oh man, I'm like 25 hours in, bro.
Did you get the early access?
Yep.
Oh, you know what's crazy, and I'm sitting here thinking about it. We paid. Well, I got the review thing. But if I wouldn't have, I would have had to get the early access because I wasn't just going to wait the 7 days or how many days. Did you buy the premium $100 or just let me in the VIP room with the Game Pass?
Just the Game Pass, the $32.
It isn't, because that's what I would have done.
Yeah,
it is intense that we paid that we paid them just to play the game. you just think about that, and it was the premium. And the $100 edition were the most sold things on Steam and Xbox.
Crazy, bro.
So that game sold well.
Yeah.
That game sold well.
Yeah, 100%.
So we're going to get to that. First thing, let's talk a little bit about this Forza thing, man. First off, do you have a huge backlog when it comes to these type of games? Do you like these type of games? I'm kind of curious to hear your opinion on them, because I don't care about them. I'm gonna be real with you.
Yeah,
I don't care about them.
I'm more of a Horizon guy, not really into the Motorsport series. I've played all of them, but I haven't put as much time into the Motorsport series as I have Horizon. But listen, I'm still excited for it. I'm curious to see what it's like, if it's going to remain to be that quality Turn 10 games that they've been doing for years. So yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to it though.
Yeah, I'm the same way. Now, obviously, IOP is going to review it. I don't know which way, shape, or form at the moment, but it's going to be interesting, man. It's going to be interesting because now, correct me if I'm wrong, Dirk. I don't think I'm wrong. Tell me how bad it's going to be for a certain demographic on Twitter if they go off of an 87, 88, 86 Starfield, which I do think's too low. I think that game definitely belongs higher, but I digress. I'm not going to really argue with people's opinions. And then a 90 plus Forza, because Forza's generally rate high 80s, early 90s.
Yep.
Yeah, they do. People are going to be sweating, like legit sweating.
Well, what's going to happen, because I understand these people well. What's going to happen if Forza gets high 80s or low 90s? They're going to try to find something wrong with the left headlight. Like, hey man, this left headlight isn't as quality as GT7, or they're going to find something. It doesn't have as much as many Porsche cars as another game, or the other games doesn't have Porsche cars. But you know what I'm saying? They're going to try to find something. They're going to nitpick and find something, just like they did with Starfield. Invisible walls, boundaries, things like that. They'll find something to nitpick about. But that's how they do it.
Yeah, I agree. I think when it comes down to it, one of the biggest things that we got to really worry about is, I feel like Starfield gave Xbox a little bit of a reset. And with Redfall, Halo Infinite to a degree, I would say some of Microsoft was looking mad spooky. But a game of this caliber, and people act like this just a red though, this is not a regular game. This is, I would say, you put this on the Zelda, Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom. I would put this on like Elden Ring standpoint. Like, this is one of those games that extend all that nonsense. So it's going to be really interesting to see how they follow this up. Now, Forza is a good game to follow this up. Right. And as long as they do a good job, they could be fine. But my question to you is, Dirk, is do you think that with something this important, it's important that they start really focusing on making sure that the quality of their games is pretty consistent throughout the year?
100%, because last generation, not only was the problem with the first party, the lack of consistent games, there was also a problem with the quality of some of the games, right? Besides, Gears and Halo and Forza, the other games really didn't rate too high. The second half of the generation, I could be missing some off the top of my head. So quality is very important. That's why Phil was really upset about Redfall. And I believe they understand that quality is very important. So moving forward, man, I think their games are going to be quality, because you think about Turn 10, they gave these guys 5 years, or was it 6 years? I'm sorry. Because think about it. Turn 10 was doing a Forza Motorsport game every 2 years. They gave them 6 years. So, quality, means more time on the game, more talent, more, resources. So I believe Xbox knows they need to have quality to be part of their pedigree. And that's important, because things like Redfall, when it happens to the Xbox, it's enhanced, right? Everything is like, Redfall, a game got excuse me, like a 50 something to 60 something. Man, that game, woo, that was rough. So they don't want that stuff to happen again.
Imagine we live obviously I don't know how this is gonna work, okay, but it'd be lit, Dirt, and I think you would agree. We have an Forza comes out, does great, everyone loves it. Then like 4 or 5 months later, either Hellblade or Avowed comes out, does great, everybody loves it. And then 3 months later after that, the other a game that wasn't Avowed or Hellblade comes out, it does great. And then 3 or 4 months after that, we might be looking at Indiana Jones. We're about to get into that, but it does seem like these universes are lining up to be just that.
Yes. A 100%. And we always say when Phil took over, it took time. It was like Xbox almost had to rebuild themselves. It was like they were starting from the beginning in some ways. And I believe Starfield, because I believe the head of, was it marketing or someone said Starfield is the beginning of Xbox consistent. Something he said, I'm paraphrasing. I don't remember his position, but it's a guy at Microsoft. He said Starfield is the beginning of Xbox dropping consistent content. So listen, man, like we think of Nintendo first party, you think of quality, right? They always have quality games. When you think of some Sony first party, they got quality. Xbox want people to think of quality when it comes to their first party also. So yeah, man, it's gonna be fun, bro.
I feel you on that. Another thing that we don't know, that there's so many variables that we still don't know. We don't know where stuff like Perfect Art is. We don't know where Gear 6 is. We don't know where State of Decay 3 is.
Fable.
We don't know what the hell IED is working on. Apparently, Phil is kind of
excited about it.
Yeah, he's excited about it.
Yeah.
We don't know where the Midnight game is either, where that's going to come out.
South of Midnight, right?
South of Midnight. There's so many variables, and I can literally tell you 2 or 3 games coming out next year.
Yeah.
Like I've always said for years on ILP, Sony has a certain amount of time to respond before the floodgates officially open and the games start flooding out. And that time is at the very end. Like they still got about I would say they got about another 6 months before. Like I would say you could argue that that's over now. It's a wrap.
Yeah.
But I would say that in order to be consistent, this year has been consistency. Obviously some of them, better than others. But started out the year with Hi-Fi Rush. Then we went into Minecraft Legends or whatever that game's called.
Right.
Then Redfall. And regardless how you feel about Redfall, I think it's a very underwhelming game. It's still a game that they delivered on first party. Maybe they should have just abolished that game and it would have helped them out overall as perception, but it's still content that you could buy and play. Then you got Starfield. Then you got Forza. That's 5 games coming out. Not to mention the crazy year of Game Pass this year. You got the P game, whatever that is, Pinocchio thing, Liza P. Then you got the just help me out. I know there's Sea of Stars.
Sea of Stars. We just had Texas Chainsaw Massacre drop in Game Pass. So there's a lot of stuff, man.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Did you play that?
I didn't play it, but a lot of the homies played it. Said it was fun.
We should link up and try that out.
Yeah, it was fun to play with friends.
Yeah, I'll be very curious to see that.
Hey, what's up, Bone Slave? Hey, man, like Halo was supposed to start it off, but then 2022 was dry, so we have to restart, brother. Right?
Yeah, and I think that we were going to get this, but I will say, even though that a lot of people don't like being, if you can't use a world closing pandemic as an excuse, what the hell can you use?
Yeah.
It's just, I get annoyed because I feel like every time Microsoft's about to go off, something happens, but I don't think that's the case anymore. I truly think that they've got the majority of their T's crossed, and I think they're going to do well.
I think so.
Let's get to Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
All right, the Indiana Jones is definitely going to be a big game. We are 15 minutes into the podcast. Let me get this super chat real quick, and before we blow up with the Indiana Jones, I do want to address some stuff in the chat. We got a $5 super chat from Chill Carlos. I like that name, actually.
Yeah, that's the homie.
It's not a Heat Carlos. It's Chill Carlos. Forza is going to destroy GT7, taking my Porsche to Lagrange C on the 16th. Finally going to race on the track in real life. And
that really, hey, that's probably dope. Chill Carlos, that's fire, man.
Yeah,
in real life.
If I brought something like that home, someone would think I stole it. All right, so there's a couple things in here that Wulong, beginning of the year, Wulong, remember?
Right, yeah, that was earlier this year.
And I got that game. That was really, really good. Ghostwire in April. We got that in April. Age 2 in February on console.
Yep. We just got Age 4. Last week or 2 weeks ago?
Lord Metro said Lords of the Fallen. I don't think that's in Game Pass.
Yeah, I don't think that's in Game
Pass.
But
I did play Lords of the Fallen at PAX West.
You?
Yeah, I got like a behind the scene. Like, it's crazy how people do stuff there. Like, you have to, like, they're not in the convention. You have to go to another hotel and go up to like a top floor. I mean, I thought I was about to like get a bag over the head and someone's gonna eject me with some kind of chloroform, and I was just gonna get knocked out.
Right.
That's what was going on, man.
Damn.
So I think you guys are gonna be very, very happy with that game when it comes out. We got 5 gifted chats from the Angry Therapist.
Angry Therapist, what's up, brother?
You guys need to put the shields in the chat. Thank Angry Therapist for them badges, man.
Shout out to Angry Therapist. That's the homie, man.
Yeah. So let's get into Indiana Jones.
Mm-hmm.
Todd Howard's doing an interview. I don't even know who it was with. Because like the font on their website's like weird, so it's hard to read. Well, for me, that is. I can't read English half the time, much less other languages. But so he said, because apparently it was really brought up with Esquire. Okay.
Yeah, that's the place. Yeah.
Apparently it was really, they brought up Indiana Jones. The interview was mainly focused around Starfield. But obviously if you got Todd Howard, you got to bring up Indiana Jones in some way, shape, or form. And he said, what's funny is, would you consider Todd Howard to be Matt Booty for Bethesda? Because I think a lot of people look towards more Pete Hines, but the way he describes, we're working on this game. I looked at this game. It kind of feels like he is their Matt Booty. Like,
that's a good question. I maybe if you say he's the head developer and also kind of a over first party at Bethesda, I guess so, if you want to say it like that. But he definitely seems to know all about what's going on at Bethesda, though.
Yeah. So they asked him, and they're talking, and he said, don't pretty much. I'm paraphrasing, but he's like, I don't really want to go too much into detail, but what I will say is, he likes the unique factor that he went into this. Apparently, he's been trying to get this since like the mid 2000s.
Wow.
And Disney has been denying it up till recently, and then now they gave him the green light. And obviously it's being done by Machine Games. I want to go into that a little bit on whether or not you believe this should be first person or third person. And then I want to get your overall perspective on, what is your expectations with Indiana Jones? Do you think Indiana Jones could be a big title for Xbox, or do you think that, even though it's been in, media for years and years, it's never captivated something like a Spider-Man has?
Right.
And do you think that it's even possible? Because, we've been saying, you've been on like, give or take it, that I believe that they need some form of, mainstream gaming going on. Sony's done a little bit better job with PlayStation doing that. But with, we saw Indiana Jones, I would say that that's the closest thing they've had for a while. What is your opinion on this?
Well, yeah, I'm gonna be honest. The IP doesn't mean as much as it used to, like in the '90s. It's still a pretty solid IP, but they just released a movie that didn't do too well. It's an older IP, but when it comes to gaming, this is something that I believe Xbox needs, and I believe it will do well on Xbox. I'm not saying it's going to do Starfield type of numbers, but I believe it's going to do well. And Machine Games is a quality developer. The question is, they can't do a Wolfenstein style game with Indiana Jones because Wolfenstein, is violent. You're killing Nazis like crazy.
I don't think Disney would let them.
Yeah, that's my point exactly. I don't think they're going to do that. And don't forget, Ty Howard also said that the game is halfway done. I don't know if you're going to get to that, but he said the game is halfway done, which probably means 2025, in my opinion.
Yeah,
but
I think 2025. I actually put in my video I made.
Yep, your video. Yeah, you did. Yeah, you did see that. I didn't watch it yet, but I saved for my watch later. I was like, look, he said 2025. But I agree with that though. So I believe Machine Games is definitely capable. Will it be in first person or third? You would think an Indiana Jones game would be in third person, and it probably should be, because me personally, I don't like when first person games aren't really like first person shooter games. I mean, there's exceptions, of course, but this game will probably benefit being a third person, in my opinion. But I do believe this is a game that they need like it's a huge license. Like I said, it's not as popular as it was in the 80s and the 90s, but it's still relevant. So yeah, I think it's cool that it's going to be a Xbox exclusive.
So I want to restructure. I want to refocus.
Okay.
In order for this game to be successful, what do you think is more necessary, being first person or third person? Because I'm putting you on the spot. Okay, you're not sliding around that question.
Okay. No, I think
we refocus.
I think third person would benefit the game more because Xbox has a plethora of first person games already.
Just for diversity, you mean?
Just for diversity. So I think it being third person would help the game and help Xbox as a brand for, like you said, more diversity.
I know that it's rumored that it's going to be first person, and I don't know how true that is, but to me, the way you make this game work is third person.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you think that the first person rumor just went through because of something like Horizon.
Mm-hmm.
Just because they made Wolfenstein, and Wolfenstein's a first person, so maybe people do it. They'll sit there and they'll say they're insiders, but only really they only really say stuff that is pretty duh. Right. So I think that I'm very curious if that's a first person or third person, maybe a hybrid, maybe both,
like Starfield.
Yeah, and I think that what would be interesting too is what is Perfect Dark. Because isn't that rumored to be first person too?
That's another question. Now, obviously, the previous Perfect Dark games were first person, but if you look at the pedigree of the studio, Crystal Dynamics, and even Daryl Gallagher, they make third person games. I mean, he rebooted the Tomb Raider franchise, but I do remember in that initiative video that they did in 2019, I believe, they said first person. Yeah, I do remember that, Spider-Man. They said first person. They did. So I don't know. Maybe it changed. I don't know. Like when they brought Crystal Dynamics on, maybe it changed. I don't know, but I do. I want to see a little bit more diversity. I love first person games, to be honest with you, but I love how Starfield gives you the option, because most of the time I'm in third person. I might occasionally switch it up to first person during combat. So I love that option. I do.
So do you think? I'm gonna put in the chat. I'm gonna put. Do you think it needs to be first person? So here's my thing. That kind of game just seems like a better fit to be third person. You could have a really good set pieces. you can essentially have Uncharted. Because I would say that to a degree, Uncharted was based off of like the Indiana Jones Tomb Hunter kind of thing.
Oh, 100%.
So it's just like you could have that. It's just I'm very curious to see if they go through with it. Because the first person Indiana Jones, to me, and that's just to me, feels like a nightmare. Like I don't know why. I'm not feeling that. I'm gonna be honest. I'm not feeling that. I feel like there's too many first persons that Microsoft already got going on. We don't need to add another one. You know, as much as like, you know, me and Cognito disagree a little bit on the hashtag just one, because I don't feel like you need to go out there and try to make a game because of the fan base of PlayStation. You just got to make good games, and they're coming regardless.
Right.
But he is right. You know, I would say make those template games just because you want to be more diverse. You want to have more types of games in your ecosystem, not necessarily because you want to go off of something like that. Someone said, Todd Howard said it's both. Both would, I don't know. Let's say that he did. I think that a good way of making it both is that if you use the whip for like puzzles or platforming, it will go into your first person mode to like hit it. You know what I'm saying? I think that would be cool.
Yeah, what? All I know, Xbox got games coming. So.
Yeah, and I think that's the biggest thing, man. You know, there's no longer and what's funny is like you got all these people that are just straight up clowning on Xbox. And in a lot of ways, they it's justified. I don't mind criticism. What I mind is people making it their personality to shit on Xbox.
Yeah.
It's like I have a content gaming addict. I talk about a variety of stuff. I mainly stick on Xbox. I talk about negative stuff with Xbox, and then people say, "Oh, you only talk about negative stuff on PlayStation." Last week, when we're about to talk about, PlayStation Plus got increased. If I wanted it easily, and Dirk can attest to this, I could have made a video on that, and it would have got a lot of views. But I had so much stuff going on, I didn't care enough to make the time to make that video. I was like, you know what, Starfield, instead of going out there and talking about PlayStation's whack anti-consumer stuff, I'm going to keep playing Starfield. And that's what I did. You know, that's my issue, is you got content creators that literally live and breathe talking shit.
Yeah.
Like, it's all the content that they put up is
like
negative. Me. The world's ending, and that type of energy exists. Don't get me wrong. It's okay to be negative and have critiques on stuff. Where I feel like people's drawing the line, and maybe you can relate there. I feel like some people make those one or two videos that just do really well.
Right.
And then they see that crazy money beside that, the analytic, and they're like, oh.
Yeah.
Let's do this more.
Yeah. I mean, I see what you're saying, because with me, I'm just having fun. I don't go out of my way to hate on PlayStation games. If I don't like a PlayStation game, I say I don't like it. I won't do a 50-minute to an hour video, because I saw someone did an hour video just trying to bash Starfield. They're going out of their way to hate on Starfield, and I'm like, I wouldn't do that for a PlayStation game. Now,
that's a lot of energy.
Bro, it's a lot of energy. I mean, I saw it was like a 50-minute video bashing Starfield, and I was like, damn, what did Starfield do to you? But the thing is, I make fun of PlayStation fanboys because some of the stupid things that they say, but I would never go after, do a 50-minute video about Spider-Man, or so, you know, I might take a shot here and there, but I'm not going to do a dedicated video just bashing on the game. That's just ridiculous to me. A game I haven't played. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, because I mean, Spider-Man's coming out here soon. You know, what's that, October next month?
Yeah.
And what's funny is I'm not telling people in the chat. Here's the thing. It will be easy to clown on Spider-Man in a variety of ways, I'm sure. But people in the chat, refrain from doing that. You know, let's give, if Spider-Man is truly a good game, let's give it its flowers.
Yep.
Because then we can eliminate that Xbox people do it too. So then when PlayStation fanboys do stupid stuff, we can say we don't see the Xbox ones. Spider-Man came out, it was a good game. Everyone said it's lit.
Yep.
I saw, what's funny is Fortega said something that I didn't even think about. Fortega said, I find it interesting that people were complaining about pronouns on Starfield and said they were returning it for this, returning it for that, returning it for performance issues, but they didn't see that same energy for Baldur's Gate 3. And there was a lot of issues with Baldur's Gate 3. I still love the game. And, in a lot of ways, it's still probably my game of the year. But there was issues with Baldur's Gate 3. And I will admit with Fortega that, like, no one was talking about it.
Right. But because this is the Xbox exclusive, they're going to talk about it.
They're going to do nothing but talk about it. That's the sad part about it, too.
Yeah, bro.
All right, hey, let's read these super chats and get to the smoke. We got Angry Therapist with the $5 super chat. What's good, Dirt? Loving all the Starfield promotion. The unicorn been doing good, or smiley face.
What's up, Angry Therapist?
Got a $5 super chat from Jay Rumpet. Indiana Jones should be in third person. Did y'all see that CNBC interview? People are still begging for Xbox.
I saw it. I saw it, brother.
I didn't see that. What is he talking about?
Oh, man, there was an interview on CNBC with Phil Spencer and Ty Howard. They were, of course, promoting Starfield releasing today. And the interviewer asked Phil Spencer 2 times in a row the same question. Will Starfield be on PS5?
Was that today?
That was today, bro. Yeah.
You got to. Hey, someone send me that.
I can send it to you.
Yeah, send me that link. I might make a video about that tomorrow.
Yeah, yeah. I was thinking about. I'm definitely talking about it on my Dark Man podcast tomorrow, bro. Like
$2 super chat from the Angry Therapist MD. 313 watching people. Get them likes up. Yeah, get them likes up, guys. It's at 86 right now. Ain't no reason why there's 300. You win 8 over 100.
Let's go.
What's going on?
Yeah, I just sent it to you. Hey, you know how to share on here, right? It's pretty simple.
Yeah, I can.
On stream, yeah, it's pretty simple to share on here.
So I do the presentation one.
Yeah, you do the present, or like first you pull it up on Twitter. Then you just go to present. Then it's something pop up. It'll say, let me share screen. Then it's share your audio tab should be clicked, and then just click on it and press share.
Okay, yeah,
it's pretty simple. Yeah, it's pretty simple.
Yeah, let's watch this. All right, hold up. Let me exit out of these other tabs. Let's not exit out of StreamYard. So.
Yeah, let's not do
it. I think it doesn't let you, like, it will say, are you sure? Before.
Oh, yeah. We do ask you to.
All right, let's presentate. Share screen.
Mm-hmm.
I hope that they'll be able to hear.
Oh, you got to click on it first. Like before you say share screen, did you like click on it? Because it should be right in a box. It should say like something like Twitter, like X. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I don't see anything like sharing the volume.
It like should be bottom left hand. It should say share audio. It should be clicked already. It should show blue.
Oh yeah, share audio tabs.
If it's already there.
All right, so we're looking for this. Here we go.
There you go, bro.
All right, is it working the way it's supposed to, guys?
It's working the way it's supposed to. Yep. Let's go.
Okay. Can you hear it? That's the better question.
Oh, you haven't played it yet, sir.
No, can you hear it if I play it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, that's awesome. All right, let's do this.
This launch today, stakes are huge. We're nearly 3 years rather into the Xbox cycle. Still haven't really seen a big critical and financial success on the Xbox side of things. What are the stakes here for Starfield? Is this the kind of game that you could think start driving more console sales and more Game Pass subscriptions, Phil?
Well, we're definitely seeing huge demand for the game. The game has just been in preview. We've had more players for any next-gen exclusive than we've had this generation all up. today is when tens of millions of Game Pass players are going to get to play. It's the most wish-listed game we've ever had between Bethesda and Xbox on Steam. Just a lot of momentum, and big game releases are a lot of fun, and it's great to be part of it.
Todd, I'll turn to you. You've been working on this game, for the better part of a decade now. It's out now. How do you feel? What's the reception been like? And is that translating into people logging on today and downloading and playing Starfield for the first time?
I mean, it's just incredible for us here. It has been a long journey. I'm in the studio. We're just overjoyed with the excitement about the game and getting it in people's hands finally. And really, with our games, we build these gigantic worlds that transport you, but it's really when everybody plays the game that it really comes alive. So we're excited. We've done in the past, have been played not just hugely at launch, but for years and years. We're going on 12 years since Skyrim, so we couldn't be more excited today.
Yeah, and Phil, that kind of leads into my next question for you. This game, Starfield, is an exclusive to Xbox and PC. Going into this, there were some people who are a little upset that they weren't going to be able to play on other platforms, but this seems to be kind of your strategy. Acquire a studio, maybe keep the legacy franchises alive. We know you plan to do that with Call of Duty if and when the Activision deal closes through. But should we expect to see Starfield on other platforms ever, or is this what we should expect moving forward? New games from acquired studios, exclusive to Xbox?
Well, you use the term exclusive, but if we look at it today, people on Xbox Series S, our affordable console, Series X, the most
I love it. He's like, buy Series X.
PC and via cloud, and cloud enables any web.
I got to pause that for a second. Yo, this man, let me just go ahead and go back. Stop sharing. This man was like, are we buying, is this going to be on other platforms? Phil Spencer literally said, "Oh, you can buy it on our affordable platform." Like that was funny. Obviously, I didn't get to see where it was asked again, but you said like it was asked again eventually.
Yeah, he pretty much asked the same question twice in a different way. Not that different, but he asked the same question twice, and Phil Spencer pretty much said again, you have consoles, you have Steam, I get PC, you have different ways to play Starfield. And it annoys the hell out of me, Addict. Why is it that Xbox can't have exclusives? Why? It annoys me, bro. Nobody grills PlayStation or Nintendo about their games, but because Xbox bought ZeniMax or Xbox bought ABK, they're grilling them. Even in the past, remember Rise of the Tomb Raider, Addict?
No, hold up. That video I pulled up was the only, it was over. That video was over. There was, that's why I said it wasn't in the asking again. I mean, I could go back to it, guys, but it was over.
Yeah.
I'll show it.
But it is the second part though, because there's a YouTube link that shows the whole thing. But...
Yeah, the video that I showed was over.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm sure if one of you guys can go on Twitter and find like the whole context behind it. But the video Dirt sent me was over because you can only show 2 minutes and 20 seconds on Twitter unless you're like
you got the blue.
I'm about to get that blue check mark, by the way.
Oh, okay,
that's better. Yeah. So people sitting there saying, why wouldn't I monetize my own stuff? I have the YouTube link. Send the YouTube link to me on YouTube. I mean on Twitter, and I'll put it in the chat here in a minute. So, but let's get to this super chat because we got this super chat, and then we'll get to the fun part. We got just bring it with the 3 super chat. By the end of this gen, Xbox will have more exclusives. I think you can argue Xbox already has more exclusives.
Yeah, they do.
All right,
because we look at the roadmaps. I'm saying I'm not hating on PlayStation, but look at the roadmaps. PlayStation roadmap is looking kind of sus.
It looks non-existent for most part. Jax 82 with the $2 super chat. Do we not know what exclusive means? Come on, exclusives on one platform only. Look, I would say, and I'm pretty sure Dirt will agree with me. That term is kind of being used differently now. For the most part, we've always assumed like exclusive was always towards the consoles.
Yeah.
It was always towards the consoles. I think it would be a better thing to say like terminology like console exclusive. I think that would make more
Mhm.
sense. But I'm not going to tell people what to say and what not to say. But all right,
Yeah.
let's get to the smoke. Let's get to the smoke. We
Xbox
40
ecosystem.
minutes. We 40 minutes into the podcast. I like to get us out of here like an hour, 10 minutes. But this might go an hour 30 because this topic here gonna go like 20 minutes. I can already tell you. Dirt. You know what, man? I'm gonna let you set this topic up because I know you was killing it last week when I was doing the PAX West stuff with this.
All right, so you want me to go ahead and start it right now?
Go ahead and start it, man. I'm gonna put you as the person that talks to. Let's
All
get
right.
this going.
PlayStation Plus. It has went up, Addict. The price has went up. Now, listen, things go up all of the time. I just got an email from Peacock and Paramount Plus, and they're telling me, yeah, your subscription is going up a little bit. But I say, you know what? Okay, that's fine. Xbox Game Pass went up a few dollars last month or 3 months ago. But the difference between those services and PlayStation Plus is pretty simple. Xbox Game Pass, Paramount Plus, Peacock, they all have original content. Brand new original content that drops day one. That drops day one. Whether it's a TV show, whether it's a movie, whether it's games, they have original content. Now, imagine something like, I don't know, a streaming service that has all old movies and TV shows. They go up in their prices, but changing nothing at all. Not adding new content, not adding brand new games day and date, nothing. Just imagine what's happening. So listen, I'm not surprised that it went up because, like I said, things go up all the time. But they changed nothing about the service. Nothing. They didn't add any specific game day and date. None of PlayStation first party is day and date. And they didn't go up just a little bit. They went up like 35% at it.
You know what it is? They put Sea of Stars in their day and date. They had to get that money back.
Sea of Stars, right.
Look, at the end of the day, when it comes to this, it is what it is at this point. I think it's stupid and it's anti-consumer to raise something with no value added. If they would have added like maybe, I think it would have been a lot better. I don't know how about you. If maybe they raised or didn't raise the essential tier, the first tier, and the other two were raised, would you think that would have been more acceptable?
It would have been a little bit more acceptable, but they raised all of them, man. It's crazy, right? I mean,
the last one was like $40 a year. They raised it.
Yes. I had a tweet that said exactly the amounts that it went up, but they were saying it pretty much went up 33 or something like 33%. That's a lot, man. That's a lot.
For no reason.
For no reason. And you didn't get anything new, no added value.
And what's funny is that they own Crunchyroll, they own Funimation.
Right. They could have added some of that with it. Right.
And I told people, and I don't know if you remember, maybe it was on the Addict show, maybe it was on IOP. People say, Addict, I think they're going to put Crunchyroll with PlayStation Plus. And I said, if you think that, you will add it to your damn mind. Why combine two services that both of them are both individually doing well?
Damn.
It sucks, man. It sucks. And what's crazy is that while I talk, will you bring up the increased prices? Could you find that for me? If you can, because it's been a couple days.
Yeah, hold on. Let me So yeah, because I had it. Let me find it again.
I'm sure you did.
Yeah.
Did you make a video about it?
Not a dedicated video, no.
Yeah,
but I talked about it on podcast, of course.
It's because I might talk about certain Xbox things, but for the most part, I mean PlayStation things. For the most part, I try to keep my channel like individual videos dedicated to Xbox.
Yeah. Damn, I gotta find it because I know I had it. Hold on, let's see.
Because I wanted to go over those increases because they're They're ridiculous. I think they all went up 30%, didn't they? All of them.
Yeah, they all did. Damn it, what? I just had it, bro. Hold on,
Like 30% raise is absurd. And for the most part, no one's talking about it anymore. Because I think they announced this the day before Starfield went live.
They did.
They announced the day before Starfield went live on early access. So like they knew what they were doing. They knew they wouldn't have to answer to this. You know, they're geniuses. They waited to the last minute to information they knew was going to go over what they were talking about. I got to give them credit for that. They knew when to do that, man. They knew when to do that. It's just, what do you think we could do, Dirt? Just go ahead and forget. Oh, you found it?
Yeah, I found Jeff Grubb's.
You send that to me.
Hold on, nah. You know what? This isn't what I need.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. We're just gonna. I'm gonna pivot a different way. Dar, what can we do to stop stuff like this, even on Xbox side?
The only thing you can say is don't support it. You know,
but are you to miss out? Because if you want to play online on the PlayStation platform, you have to have this. So do you sacrifice your online capabilities in your? It's still crazy that they put what's that thing called? Cloud saves. They put cloud saves behind a paywall.
Behind a paywall, that's true.
Like, that's intense. They put cloud saves behind a paywall. Okay, Dirt has provided me with the link. So what we're going to do is we're going to go over here and we're going to look at this.
Yeah, I finally found it. It's not the one I was looking for, but I found another one.
All right. So here is, I don't even know how it looks on my end, but here is what we are showing right now. So you have PlayStation Plus Essential went from 60 to 80. And then you had PlayStation Plus Extra went from 100 to 135. And PlayStation Plus Premium went from 120 to 160. I'm being told by a lot of people that last tier is like irrelevant. There's nothing good in it. Yeah. Like, it's literally just taking $160 from you now for nothing. There's nothing in it, really.
Yep. Like, I know they offer some old games, but bro, and you know, you got to stream them. It's terrible. Because I actually had PlayStation Plus Premium for like, I would say like a year, because when I got my PS5 from the homie Gaming Forte, you know, they gave me some PlayStation points. And I said, you know, I'll just get PlayStation Premium. And I used it to finish Miles Morales, Spider-Man Miles Morales, and I tried out Returnal and some other games, but that's about it, because there was nothing new in there. Nothing new, bro.
Do you think it's a accurate thing to say? Here's what I think. They did this PlayStation Now infrastructure, one, to make them look bigger than Game Pass. And to two, they did it to increase higher tiers, but not increase everything as a whole. So, for instance, they couldn't raise PlayStation Now because it wasn't doing well. But if you break it up into tiers and you raise the ender part of the tiers, you're only really raising the hardcore fans that are picking up those. So that's what I feel happened. I feel like they knew what they were doing.
Yeah.
I feel like they knew what they were doing. And the sad part is, like I told you, like, there's not enough people to really do anything about it. You know, once again, this is a substantial increase. I rarely saw big outlets talk about it.
I was just about to say that, Addict.
I didn't see a whole lot of big influencers really talk about it.
Yep.
A day later, everyone was talking about Starfield.
Yep.
And now no one's talking about it.
Yeah, I was just about to say that. I didn't see. Do you remember early 2022 when Xbox tried to double the price of Xbox Live Gold? Now, you know me, I'm a bot addict. I did a video, was like, Xbox, what the F are y'all doing? And the internet was filled with hate for Xbox to the point they changed it. They went back on the increase. But with this, there were a few PlayStation guys kind of like, yo, this is BS. There was some like a lot of Xbox guys, but like you said, I didn't see any big articles about it. There were some articles, of course, but nothing big. And it's like, wow, you guys are not going to talk about this? Unbelievable.
And the funny thing is just, I think the industry in general is just spiraling out of control, from how they handle influencers to how they handle PR, to how they handle Q&A. They don't want to properly QA games these days. That's why you have games coming out broken so much. You know, it's ridiculous. And if you really think about it, because ever since, you know, I started talking to companies, you know, kind of figuring out what's going on, I've been able to have a different perspective of stuff. You know, for years I had companies just provide a review code. And I thought, my mindset is I take that access, I take that content, and I elevate that to grow the channels, and I look at that channel to generate them, you know, financially. But you know, after talking to like bigger content creators, they're like, you can't do that. Like, there are certain of these studios that you could do that with, but realistically, these companies should be paying for some of this coverage. They don't, though. Everything pretty much is pro bono, the entire industry. And I know a lot of people say, oh, you can't pay for something and expect it to review it honestly. That's bullshit. Right. That goes off integrity of people. Now, if you don't have a good moral compass, you could probably have that argument. It's just, when it comes down to it, I just get so frustrated how they treat influencers, how they treat the consumers. You know, I see people constantly getting blacklisted for just speaking their mind on stuff.
Yeah.
And it's just like, if you want good criticism, actually make good games. You know, people want to do this. We want the kind of money that these other developers and stuff get, but they don't want to talk about what delivered those content. Those people had good games that delivered it. I've always said it. People can sit there and they said, I read some comments on my last video that's like, Addicts, I don't think you understand. There's nothing Xbox can do to come back 100%. I disagree. It doesn't matter how you can make 100 shitty games. If you start making good games, they're coming back.
Yep.
That's why the industry has us by the balls. Because Ubisoft, you could talk all the shit on Ubisoft. EA was considered like the worst company for like 4 years in a row.
Yeah.
Not just in gaming.
Period. Yeah, I remember that.
In the world, it was the worst company. And we're talking people who's killed millions of people and covered it up. People who did giant oil spills in the ocean that took years to clean up.
Yeah.
EA's worse than them to some people. It's just like, I want the industry in general to get better. You know,
100%.
People look at this console war stuff differently than I do. I look at it as like fun entertainment. You know, it's like banter. Yeah, it's like watching Comedy Central. It's just supposed to be fun. Now, there's people that take it too far.
Yep.
And it doesn't become a means of an outlet. It doesn't become like a funny thing. It becomes their whole personality. And to me, you know, I feel like some of these people, they get financially hooked on some of the stuff, and they got to keep driving that. You know, we've talked about that in the past, but this is another perfect thing. You know, how many times have I seen people go on rants on YouTube or go on rants with like 8 thread attachments on Twitter talking about something Xbox did wrong, or why they should be punished more for how they handled Redfall. But when the PlayStation Plus thing happened, all of them people was gone. None of them. I didn't see no rants. I didn't see none of that.
Yep. Absolute crickets, bro. You know, I'm glad you were saying these things, because sometimes I use a sports analogy, but you said you can make 100 bad games, but if you start to make good games, you will give people attention. A team can be bad for years at it. But if they start to have some better players, they get some new leadership, better players, and they start winning, people will disregard the 10 crappy years y'all had because guess what? You guys are contending for a championship now. You mentioned EA. I'm going to tell you, Capcom was terrible during the Xbox 360 PS3 generation. Terrible. And people's like, man, what's up with Capcom, man? But Capcom, they they went back to the drawing board, said we got a rebuild, and that's what they did. And now they're doing great right now. So I 100% agree with what, hey, yo, TJ, stop talking about my Detroit Pistons. You better show some damn respect. Well, anyway, so I wholeheartedly agree with everything you're saying. And that's just how it is, man. But I want the industry to be better because this is my favorite hobby. Playing video games is my favorite hobby. Exo Primal stunk. Okay, that's one game. But they're still doing well, though, Togo.
I mean, look at Capcom. Capcom was on the verge of bankruptcy. Like, they were done.
Yeah, so you say on the verge of bankruptcy, like I was just saying, yeah.
Oh, is that who you said?
Yeah, I said Capcom.
My bad.
No, it's okay.
I mean, you could use EA, Ubisoft. I would say they're right now. Like, Ubisoft is kind of like rocky. Like, these companies are doing well, and you know, maybe not well for us. I think that's another thing we need to really. Are these companies doing bad, or are they doing bad for a corporate world? I would say most of them are doing good, but when you put them up in front of investors, that is when it looks bad. You know, I've always felt like, you know, corporate climbing. Well, I call it I call it quarter climbing, where every quarter you got to make more money than the last quarter.
Yeah.
This issue with the whole country. You know, if you spend so much time on, with the moment you aren't grateful for making $1 billion in profit this year, you got to make 1.5 billion profits in next quarter. That's when is enough. Like, I personally feel like, you know, I understand expanding, but when you have more money than countries combined, I feel like that should be enough. But it's never enough. People always want more, and I get that. It's just greed in general. All right, so let's get these super chats and we'll move on to the main event. You guys have been very generous this podcast. I'm looking. Yeah, I think here we are. We got we read that. We got this one. Angry Therapist is the $5 super chat. What?
Remember, you can because it auto saves the super chats. You can get rid of the ones that we saw already. Just if you go to where it says start, you can just unclick the start and it will get rid of it, so you'll know.
Exactly you can see me unclick them.
Well, I can just tell that you did because it said you had 9, and you had 10, now you got 9. So yeah.
Okay, yeah, that makes perfect. Thanks. I don't know this thing very well. The Angry Therapist for $5 super. These third-party deals ain't working out for them now. The cost is their consumers, almost like they broke. They're not broke, but the problem is like I said, they got to make a profit next quarter.
And they signed some bad third-party deals, with the exception of Final Fantasy 7 and 16. The rest of their third-party deals,
you can make an argument that 16 wasn't a good deal.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, well, 7, 7. Yeah, that's a good point at it.
Yeah, okay. So we got another $2 super chat for the Angry Therapist. I love Game Pass Ultimate. I play on Xbox and PC. It's definitely a good deal. Mm-hmm. Then you got a $5 super chat from Cobweb. It's worse. You used to get all the PlayStation now for $5 a month. The new tier system makes you buy into premium to get a full category. Premium is $18 a month. Catalog is $18 a month.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Then we got a member chat for 1 month. Forza Horizon 5 got 33 million people in its lifetime, and Starfield beat that number this month. TTS.
That's a good question. I don't know if it'll be 33 million in 1 month, but I don't know. Possibly it could. I don't know.
Appreciate Avo 114 for that. So let me get rid of all these. So you right. All right. So let's talk about this, man. Starfield.
All right.
Starfield, man. First off, How many hours you got in it?
Like about 25. About 25, yeah.
I got over 100. It's a little ridiculous. Like,
yeah, man.
I got a little bit too many. Let's go a little bit, because I don't want this to be a review. There's multiple review outlets, but give me your raw perspectives and your overall thought process on the game. And then what we'll do is just tell me your did it meet your expectations, or did it succeed?
Yeah. Now, let me explain this. I'm not a guy that was into Bethesda games in the past. I bought Fallout 3, bought Fallout 4, played it a little bit and put them down. I've never played a Skyrim game ever, because like I told you several times, I'm a different type of gamer now. So the first thing I know is not playing Starfield. I'm kind of like, wow, there's a lot to this game. You know, you got to, like, the fast traveling I had to get, because at first I didn't understand it, but I got everything. So there's a game that I don't hear people compare it to. Of course, Starfield is way bigger in scope and scale, but Outer Worlds, there's definitely a similarity with Outer Worlds. I don't know if you played that one, Addict, but first off, I love the game. 100% love it. This is one of those games you just want to take your time. Just take your time. I'm trying to do a lot of side missions. The side missions are incredible, by the way. I had some great side missions about, with the gang. I joined the gang. I don't know if you did that one. There's some other stuff with the woman. I was a farmer. I mean, it was so many great side missions. I love the game, man. The gameplay is solid. I'm not even noticing the 30. I'm not noticing it because I'm enjoying it. It's pretty smooth. There's so much to this game. Like when I first made it to the planet Neon, it's like, wow, this is pretty beautiful.
Neon's like a cyberpunk kind of thing.
It most definitely, and they kind of wild on that planet too, bro. They wild as hell over there. They wild, but yeah, the game is incredible, man. Like I said, there's a huge there's the Outer Worlds vibe there, but it's much better than Outer Worlds. And I'm telling you, man, this is the game that Ty Howard wanted to make. And like that interview that he had, he said being the Xbox exclusive helped them make a better game. And this game is great. The only bug I've run into, one of my partners or companions was shaking like a crackhead, but that's about it. But yeah, the game is dope, man. I love it, man.
Yeah, I just enjoy it, man. I do. Fonz, you want in here to give your opinions about this? If you do, just put in the chat. I'll send you an invite, because I want to end this about 7:10, 7:15, so don't make it too crazy, because that's the end date. All right, you don't go past 2 hours here. Well, that's not even 2 hours, but yeah, just tell me if you want in, Fonz, because I definitely want to hear your opinion. I love the game. I do. I'm still leaning more towards Baldur's Gate 3 for like my game of the year. Mm-hmm. Just because I love the gameplay of Baldur's Gate. I'm a huge turn-based type of fan.
Yeah.
So naturally, I'm going to gravitate towards games like that. Now, that doesn't mean that Starfield isn't better on every corner. It is. Starfield's better at every corner when it comes to immersion, exploration. Now, I do feel like the dialogue in the RPG system is done better in Baldur's Gate. Because I do feel there are conversations when you're talking to people, I feel it is important and it could change at any time. But for the most part, I do feel like those conversations don't change too much. You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes when you're talking to someone, you have a thing where it pops up and it says, okay, you're a warrior. So, or you're a bounty hunter, so you have a different dialogue than you can do. But I do feel like in Baldur's Gate, there's more of that happening. It is happening in Starfield, but not to that degree. There's multiple ways you can play this. I will say that I do feel that the tier system is okay. It's not like the greatest. I prefer the old system where you have points and you go into every one so you could play a little bit more how you want to play. But this is a solid one. I think people are really going to enjoy this. At the end of the day, this is just a solid, fun game. It really is. And I think that's, you guys are going to enjoy it. I really do. For those of you that haven't jumped into it, you're going to lose yourself in it, you know? And the good thing is, a lot of people don't like turn-based games. That's where Baldur's Gate is, you know? Baldur's Gate, I love turn-based stuff. I love, you know, boss battles and turn-based combat. So if you don't like that kind of gameplay, you could still get that type of experience in Starfield. And in a lot of ways, of a superior experience. You know, like I said, the RPG system in Baldur's Gate, I think's a little bit better. And I think the combat's better in Starfield. And that's not, the combat thing is just my preference. I love that kind of combat, but I'm sure Dirt don't give two shits about that kind of combat. He prefers Starfield.
I'm not a big turn-based guy.
Yeah, so, you know, I think they did a good job balancing making a turn-based, not making a turn-based game, making an RPG, making one that goes with as many people as possible, but still holds on to the root. You know, because I didn't like what they did with Fallout 4. They tried too much to get more people playing. And I think there is a line that developers consistently cross where they're like, okay, we made a shit ton of money last time. Let's make a shit ton more on top of the shit ton of money. So what do? You know, because in that point, if you don't do it good and you try to casualize your game too much, you're spitting in the people that made you successful already. That's how I feel with Final Fantasy. You know, I was ride and die Final Fantasy for years with the turn-based combat. And then they turned to whatever the hell 16 and 15 is. And they spit in my face. So after 16 and the disappointment that game was to me, I'm probably done with Final Fantasy for a while. You know, I'll probably still play 7 Rebirth because I do like the way they did that game. I felt like that was a little bit more, you know, because they had like a mode where you could stop time, and it does feel a little bit more turn-based. It felt like those devs actually wanted to give us a good middle ground.
Mm-hmm.
It felt like they actually wanted to. You know, they're making supposedly they're making a tactics game as well. So I'm kind of curious to see how that works. And, you know, I think we right now are going to get classics from the past. We're going to get new IPs. And we're going to get high quality games all at the same time. And I think right now is a great time to be a gamer. I'm going to be real with you guys. I really do. I think the next couple years, including PlayStation, is going to be really good. And, you know, I think Starfield shows that Microsoft still is in this. Now, clearly they could have improved certain things, and no one's going to deny that. There's a lot of things that Starfield could have improved on. There's a lot of things that Microsoft can improve on. They should never have let Redfall come out the way it did. But Starfield, I believe, has gave a little bit more hope to people that completely checked out on the PlayStation 4 era. They're like, we're not about this. We're done with this. And I think we're finally starting to see more consistency in Microsoft's brand. And we've seen it for a while.
Mm-hmm.
People want to sit there and just talk about the highlight of Redfall. And what I thought was funny was Starfield. And I'm sure you agree with this, Dirt. Starfield got a 9 out of 10, 10 out of 10 for the majority, the bulk of the reviews. And they got a couple 7s and like 1 or 2 5s, something like that.
Hey, yo, King of Roy, man, you lucky you ain't on my channel, chump.
What'd he do?
He's talking about we capping because, you know, we're being positive about the Xbox game for the Xbox check.
Time him out.
Looking into my channel.
Put him into prison. Put him into prison.
No, I hate you guys just because, you know, like we can't like a game. Oh, we're capping, you know, because of the Xbox.
But you know what's
Get
funny?
here, man.
The same people that say this, if we put them in this stream right now, they're gonna be silent. They ain't gonna know what to say. They ain't gonna be able to justify why they don't like Starfield. And 9 times out of 10,
he ain't played it.
That's what I'm saying. You ain't even played it.
Well, like a King Thrash fan. Look.
Yeah, so I mean, man. I think it's good, man. I think it's good. And what do you think now, until Fonz gets in here to give us his general perspective? When he gets in there, we'll give him like 5-10 minutes to talk by himself. But what do you think the future of Xbox after this is? Like, I think they should really focus on quality. You know, like be reaching out to Hellblade, to Ninja Theory, be reaching out to Avowed, Obsidian, and be like, yo, what do you need to make this game come out good?
Right.
Because to me, if you can just stick with this type of quality, we're good.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
And I honestly think if Hellblade comes out and it's successful, and it don't got to be a 90 plus on Metacritic.
No,
people got this weird ass thing with Metacritic. If it comes out and it's a good game and the majority of people love it, and then Forza does the same thing, Avowed does
people
the
were
same
saying
thing.
87 was bad, bro. PlayStation fanboys are saying 87 Metacritic was bad.
And I told them that was capping for Death Stranding and Ghost of Tsushima.
Ghost of Tsushima was
one of my favorite games.
That game was fire. I love Ghost of Tsushima.
I still don't understand why they
83.
They gave it such a low score. To this day, I don't understand why they gave it such a low score.
Yeah, man.
So. You know what it is? It's like I said on IOP, or I may have said it on another platform. I can't remember. The reason I think that these review scores are so, like, people talk about these review scores so poorly, is because I personally feel like 8s, 9s, and 10s are giving out so often now, to where every game almost is 7, 8, 9, 10. Right. You rarely see these games dropping below that. And after enough time, and you see everything being 8, 9, and 10, if you see a 7, you think it's underwhelming. Now, obviously, that's not everything. Some of these, it's like I said, the majority of these developers and the majority of these outlets, and I'm sure you saw it, they all gave it 9s and 10s out of 10s.
Yeah.
But guess what? The screenshots was only that red IGN 7 out of 10 say, how you guys like your 7 out of 10 game? Because, do you want to go into that real quick?
Yeah, you can go ahead.
You go.
About the see, look, I'll be honest, man. I was I thought some of my Xbox brothers, they focused too much on the IGNs and GameSpot and the bad scores. Because I just feel like this, man. That Dan Stapleton guy, he really appears to prefer PlayStation, and that's fine. We all don't like the same stuff. We all have our opinions, and at the end of the day, these are just opinions, right? They can definitely be fake opinions or influence opinions because you don't like a certain brand, but I don't lose any sleep over it, bro. Yes, we talk about it because sometimes, certain things are just ridiculous. How the Dan Stapleton guy, he was trying to defend his review, talking about, well, these are the last few Xbox games, excuse me, I reviewed and just made itself look worse. But I still felt that we focused too much on these bad scores. But at the same time, people say, yo, we got to call them out, and that's cool. But I was like, man, some of those scores just didn't make any sense. But listen, man, everybody ain't going to like the same stuff. That's all I can say, bro.
I agree with you. And people need to stop giving them so much power. Here's the thing I will say, though. I'm never going to tell people not to voice their opinion. Just do it respectfully. If you come out there and you call people all kinds of names, you automatically, the people that matter that actually can change things, they're not going to take you seriously. I do agree that there's something wrong with the review system, and I do agree that in some cases it is being manipulated. I don't know how we fix that.
And that third Spider-Man game in 5 years, Kings of Royal Gaming, enjoy. I'm sure Spider-Man be decent, but go ahead. I'm sorry.
I don't know how we fix that. I couldn't even begin to describe to you how we fix that. But it's one of those things where it's like, you get put in a weird situation. Like, what do? Do we just ignore it? Is that really going to fix anything? Probably not.
Right.
Do we talk about it? Because is that going to fix anything? If there's enough of us, maybe. But at the end of the day, is that going to fix the overall problem? Probably not. We can not refuse to go to Metacritic, which that would probably be the ideal thing. People boycotting IGN, boycott Metacritic. So we know people. It's like Metacritic got to know these people are manipulating their website. Giving it a bad score in general, just so they can, come out negatively about the game in the future. So if you want to talk about that, I guess. But it's just like, just keep it moving, man. Don't worry about what other people have to say about the game you're playing. If you want to say something, like, I understand. Just make sure you don't look stupid. That's all. Because sometimes it's not about how you show stuff; it's about how you put out the information.
Yep.
All right,
Can you hear me?
Collins? Yeah.
Yeah. No, I don't have my camera or anything set up. But I just wanted to jump in real quick. I know you don't have a lot of time, but I'm loving the game. But it's probably my favorite game so far this generation, because I admit I'm a Bethesda stan. So I love Bethesda games. I've always been a fan of can you guys hear me?
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm sorry. I looked at the feed and I saw Dirt talking, and I was like, "Oh, wait a minute, is he saying something?"
No, that's that
Anyway,
delay, probably.
Yeah, it's the delay, and yeah, it's anyway. But I can acknowledge its faults as well. Like, I see where people are coming from when they're talking about certain issues in the game. Be it loading screens, the space exploration aspect of it not being as good as some of us hoped. But aside from that, what they did bring us was really, really incredible to me. Really, really fun. I'm still playing the game. There's so much to do. Oh my God. I have not come close to even beating the campaign. I think I've got 6 of the main missions done, and I've just been doing a ton of side missions. And also I started getting into crafting and building on my ships and stuff. I'm starting to get into all that stuff too, and that really takes hours for me. I'm somebody who will dive deep into that stuff for a long time. So that kind of stuff really speaks to me in a game. I'm also like you though, Addict. I can't wait to play Baldur's Gate 3 because I am a fan of the series, and I don't mind turn-based, but and I've heard it's got incredible dialogue, like voice acting and everything is impeccable in that game. But I'm that's going to take a back seat even when it does drop, because I don't know how long I'm going to be playing Starfield. Starfield is that game that I have been waiting for, and it has met and exceeded my expectations in a lot of ways. One of those things is the fact that I love the options within this game. I know some people complained about, I've even complained about, like, Fallout 4. The options you choose really didn't do anything for the story. Like, it was lacking in that game. But here, they brought that back. They brought that aspect back. And it's a pure Bethesda game through and through. It does remind me aspects of other games. Dirt mentioned Outer Worlds. Yeah, I could see that. Also, Mass Effect for me.
Yep.
Kind of reminds me of Mass Effect in a lot of ways, especially the space exploration. Let's face it, there really was none in Mass Effect either. You don't hear people complaining about that, but it's also not a push that they were, doing back when they were trying to sell that game. But for Todd Howard and Pete Hines and the rest of them there at Bethesda, they were pushing space exploration. So a lot of people's expectations were pretty high on that aspect. But the more I think about that, though, the more I'm like, do I really want to fly around as much as we do even now? Because I'm not huge on flight in games, like when it comes to like ships or airplanes or whatever. It's not big for me. So dogfights and stuff, they're okay. Don't get me wrong. It's well done in this game, but I would rather fight boots on the ground. Right. So the planetary exploration, they nailed, in my opinion. I love it. Like, that is good stuff there. It's just a really, really good game, man. And I if I had to put a number on it right now, I haven't even beat it, but like right now it's hovering around 8.5 for me. Like, I think where the number has landed, 86 to 88, that is pretty spot on where I would think this game would land overall at the end, but it's an incredible game. If anybody's hasn't played it yet and they're into Bethesda games, oh, it's a no-brainer.
Right, no-brainer.
Even if you're not a Bethesda fan, I would try it, especially if you got Game Pass. It's one of those games that does suck you in. Maybe not the first hour, but once you start getting a handle on the mechanics and stuff and the menus, it becomes second nature. And then the game, like, just it keeps opening up. It seems the more I do, it just keeps getting better and better and better. Even the side missions are really, really good.
Yeah,
some of them are downright incredible. But I'm having a blast with it, and I think people just need to relax out there getting so upset over review scores. They don't mean anything, people. Think about it this way. There's games out there that you may rate at 8.5, and you may rate another game a 9. But you may even like that 8.5 game better than that 9. I know I do. And that's because you may take off points for stuff like graphics that really don't impact the game all that much for you. So it's not a big deal. Like review scores are just that. They're just scores up there. It's all in how you feel about the game, and how I feel about it is just I'm amazed at what Bethesda gave me here. Yes, some of it feels a bit dated. Those Bethesda tropes come back. Some of those bugs, there's little bugs here and there, but it's definitely the most polished Bethesda game I've ever played. That's hands down. That's a fact. But it's just a really high quality game. It's good. And Xbox has a banger here, and a lot of people are upset at that.
Yep.
Yeah, because it's not they're so used to easy shots from Microsoft. Yeah.
Hey, real quick, I did want to mention that thing about the PlayStation Plus hike, because I really banged the drum on this on my show too. It was really weird, and you guys did a spot on job too. How everybody seemed to jump on it day one. Day two, they were back to bashing Starfield. Everybody got quiet about that situation. Whereas with the Xbox price hike, we banged that drum for weeks, or for a week before they shut that down, or days at least. Yeah. And that goes to show you priorities within the community, and how fanboys really take this stuff just insanely stupid sometimes. Yep. It makes no sense, because that's something they should have really fought against, because $40 more annually for something they give you nothing more in there, they didn't add anything to it, is highway robbery.
Yeah, I think when it comes down to it, console war's fun. It's fun to participate in some ways. It's fun to I consume it more than anything. But the number one rule I would have if I was still in the trenches, with dirt, is just don't make yourself look stupid. It's exactly. If you don't know about something, just keep your mouth shut. If you feel like something might bite you in the ass later, maybe don't talk about it. Right. But for some reason, I feel like these people will get hyped, or you get caught outside sometimes. I've been caught outside. Of course, get real into the moment. You say some statements that.
But when your wallet's being affected, I don't know. I would keep on that topic.
Right.
If I was really a staunch PlayStation guy, and I don't pay for their service, because honestly, all my multiplats that are multiplayer, whatever, if I want to play that, I play them on Xbox anyway. So why am I going to buy it over there? My friends are over here. So that's what I do. So basically it's my exclusive PlayStation box. That's what it is. So I don't need to buy into all that stuff. Now, if they did day and date, I would buy into the premium service.
Me too. Yep.
And that's where I would be screaming my head off. Hey, I don't want to pay this $40 extra. What are you doing? But nobody seems to be doing that over there, because they really don't care. At the end of the day, when they said in the past, I will gladly pay $100 for my exclusive Sony game, they're not lying. They're freaking not lying. They would. They would. My games. And it's insanity. Yeah. People don't take that into effect here. I personally, I've bought one game this generation at $70, and that was God of War Ragnarok. Mm-hmm. That was the only game I paid full price for all generations so far. And was it worth it? No.
Yeah, God of War Ragnarok was a fun game, but I will say that it was underwhelming compared to what I expected.
2018 was better.
2018 was better, yeah.
The first 10 hours of God of War Ragnarok were boring to me, but that's not my point. My point is, I even felt bad about spending $70 on that because I don't think the games are worth this much money, especially nowadays when you hit the nail on the head, Addict. You said that Q&A, they're not even doing proper Q&A and everything or testing anymore. The proper testing with these games. And we're getting a bunch of games coming out now that are just, I don't know, man, buggy, broken, and it's insane.
Hey, Fonz, I can ask you a question right quick. Just real quick. It's something I just thought about. Like you was talking about the game is coming out buggy, broken, not finished. I noticed that Star Wars Jedi Survivor just had another patch to fix the 60 FPS on all next generation consoles. Why is it that, in your opinion, why is some games get penalized for not being finished upon release, but some games like Star Wars Jedi Survivor does not get penalized at all? Their score, they had a high score. I mean, why do you think?
I wish I knew. And I don't subscribe to this notion that there's a full out media bias, but I do understand that there are fanboys within the industry.
Yeah,
there's no doubt. There's no doubt. And there are some people out there who will attack one, corporation over the other time and time again because of their fanboyism. And that's sad. That's pathetic to me. A good game is a good game. And you shouldn't really nitpick on something when you don't do it to something else, just because it's not on that platform that you particularly don't like. That is where I have an issue with it.
Right.
Because you can clearly see those people out there when you read some of these reviews, especially with Starfield. There's some reviews out there that I honestly don't think they even played it or much of it at all.
Right.
Because the reviews are just ridiculous. And I'm sitting there going, what are you talking about?
That's why I was talking to people and they're like, well, it's a massive game. And I'm like, then don't put review beside it. No one at IOP beat it, but we still had a long 3-hour discussion about it.
Yep.
We never said we beat it. We never claimed we beat it. It's just I had 80 hours. Saul had 60. Carl had 50 or 60. And King had, I think, just as much as us, if not more. It's just
you know what, Addict? I respect you guys more for that. I respect the guy. And I told this to Colt before he even did his review. And I was pushing him. I said, Colt, don't finish it. Don't just press for that review and hurry up and finish through the game, because you're going to miss some enjoyment there. I said, this is a huge game. Relax, enjoy it, make a review in progress, because honestly, I respect people who do reviews in progress on bigger games, because it tells me they actually really like the game and they're taking their time with it, rather than somebody who just rushes through the main campaign, puts out a shit review because they missed out on a lot of fun there. That happens time and time again. And so I respect people like you. That's what you should have done, in my opinion. Unless you just, were up all day and night just playing Starfield and you had 200 hours in it and you got it all done. Yeah, that's fine too. But man, I just feel like some people do push through these games just for the sake of review. That's what I would have done if I had a review copy. I would have done the same thing, a review in progress.
Yeah, because to be honest with you, when you're there day one, it's not a lot of people with that coverage, so you can kind of tackle it any way you want to, and you'll be fine.
And another thing too, when it comes to that is, I like the fact that you acknowledge its faults, even though you say you really enjoy the game. People need to relax and learn to just understand that there are faults with pretty much every game, and we're not attacking the game. We're just telling you, hey, I wish they could have done this a bit better. I wish they could have done that a bit better. But you can overall love the game regardless. You can acknowledge faults and still love a game.
Yeah. Problem with the industry is people are during the impression that any kind of criticism can get you blacklisted, and that's not the case. As long as that you're
You do it right.
Yeah, as long as you speak your opinions correctly. Devs get annoyed more than anything when you're reviewing a game they know you didn't beat. You're claiming you did.
Right.
So
Yeah,
you're
that
reviewing
annoys
the
me.
game off false pretenses. Like they get mad over stuff. Like, are there devs that will blacklist you if you speak your opinion and it's negative? I'm sure they are there, but at that point, just don't mess with their game.
Well, that's just a company that's not very well. They're being disingenuous. I don't know. I don't like that. But no, the game is great. I'm like 44 hours, I think, in. I've done a lot of cool stuff. I'm enjoying the ride. Like all I keep thinking about is this game. Like when I'm doing other things and stuff, I'm thinking, man, I can't wait to get back to the game. I want to start this. I want to do that. I want to finish this quest. Because these quest lines are pretty dang long. Some of them are long. They're hours worth of quest line. Like, so I think that's why Pete Hines had said, like, if you come across something, don't just ignore it, even if it seems like a mundane quest or something. Like, try to, go ahead and do that, because it can open up into something bigger, because that's what happens in this game. And there's so many times it could lead to something pretty cool at the end, right? So, man, I implore people, just try the game if you haven't. The game is so good, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we're about to head out of
All
here.
Right. I appreciate you guys, man. Yeah, I'm going to bounce out because I got to go. I got to get to the hospital, but I just wanted to bounce in real quick. Thank you for allowing me to come in here.
Thanks for stopping by, bro.
I appreciate you guys, man. You guys do good work out here. I appreciate you both, man.
Thank you, man. You too.
All right. Later.
Let me get these couple super chats real quick. We got $5 super chat from Corey Tidwell. Starfield in New Game Plus is the best I've seen over 80 hours now. I need to just beat this dang game so I can see what the hell this New Game
Yeah,
Plus
because I'm hearing a lot of people talk about that.
$5 super chat from Stanley Buffington. Addict being diplomatic. He knows Baldur's Gate 3 is better than Starfield in every way. Metacritic score reflects that. There's a lot of different variables that led to Metacritic score of them.
Hey, Stanley, shut up. Because I'm tired of people acting like, man, listen, we use Metacritic scores as bragging rights in this console war, right? But what Metacritic is a concoction of people's opinions about a game, bro. So nobody care what you think. You a pony that just want, Baldur's Gate 3 is better than Starfield. You would say a Dora the Explorer game is better than Starfield just because it got a higher Metacritic. All of you guys in the chat, JV Smooth, the other POS, all of y'all frauds, get out of here, punk.
You gotta say sucker.
You jive sucker. Who am y'all?
All right, let me get this member chat so we can get us up out of here. You got a 1 month member chat from Mr. Eldrick. Let's see what the score next push X to move a law game gets on that
dog
on PlayStation 5, the QTE machine. You guys are ridiculous, man. All right, Dar, where can people find you at, man?
Check out my channel. And if you ponies want to come on in, because you will get destroyed and blocked. POSs, all of you. No, yeah, man. I did a video today about the success of Starfield.
Yeah, I watched it.
Oh, thanks, brother. The success of Starfield. I had to throw a couple shots in there. But that's about it, man.
As you should.
I'm about to put my link in the chat. Thought I had it up. I guess I didn't. So that's about it, man. Thanks for the show today, my brother.
Yeah, and you find me on Gaming Addict. I am one subscriber away from 5,200. So definitely.
Shout out, yo, man. Hey, Kings of Royal Gaming. It ain't Tradash. How dare you? Show some damn respect. You and JV Smooth. Show some respect. And Stanley Buffington. POSs.
Ridiculous. But definitely go follow Dart. Very entertaining podcast, a very entertaining channel in general. But I appreciate everyone for coming through, man. We're gonna go ahead and I'm gonna send you guys over there to Fame. They are live right now. I'm sure they're gonna be talking about the Starfield. Everyone will be talking about that. And I want to thank everyone again, for coming in, every week. We had like 420 at one point. You guys grow the channel. You guys grow the podcast a lot. Make sure you go to Dirts is right there. Make sure you guys go to that. And until next time, we'll see you later.
Peace out. Peace out, y'all. Oh, man.